Hello, and we are live.
Gizmos
Welcome.
aplenty.
It is February the 2nd, 2025. This is our second game this year in our brand new season. We are kind of on a schedule right now where we are doing every other week, kind of, sort of. And we'll probably continue that at least for another month. But then we would like to ramp it up to regular weekly games again, just depending on how our spring is going. So welcome to everybody. If you're new seeing our game or our videos, and this is the very first time, just a sec, I'm being interrupted. Yes.
Welcome to February 5th.
Oh, that's right. It's February 5th, not the 2nd. Sorry. My wife is correcting me, and she is right to do so. Thank you very much, dear.
You're welcome, dear.
So here are the Wylders. Everybody say hello.
Hello.
We're going to go around to the table in a second. But before we do, I forget what else I was saying. I guess it doesn't really matter. I was telling you that if this is your first time seeing the game, we do a D&D style game. It's a role-playing game. We use mostly D&D rules, some Pathfinder rules. And we play around the table live in person. We have a TV on our table that shows all our maps. We use Foundry on a bunch of laptops so that we're not having to print a million pieces of paper every damn week. I already broke one printer doing that 2 years ago, and that's why we switched. And so, let's do intros. I'm Dave Wildson. I am the creator of the game we play. It's a homebrew game around a world called Aerra. And there are some Old West outlaws who botched a train robbery and ended up having to flee, stuck in a mine. They found a portal to a completely different world. So all of these outlaws from 1899 are now in the world of Aerra. And here is the first of them. His name is
Dave,
Thaddeus.
before you, I'm sorry.
Yes.
People are wondering,
Josephine?
how are you feeling, Dave?
Oh, okay. I'll come back to me after we do intros, and I'll tell everybody how I'm feeling after that. Here is Mr. Thaddeus. Hello, sir.
Hello, my name is Ian Little, and I'm playing the role of Mr. Thaddeus Poindexter, actually Dr. Thaddeus Poindexter, a simple country physician.
A simple country physician. Don't believe it. I won't say anything more.
How dare you?
You can figure it out. I apologize, Mr. R-O-D-U-E. Here we are. This is Josephine. Hello, Josephine.
Hey. So I am just Josephine, and I love all things that go pew pew, and especially pew pew in the direction of my enemies. And my class is a gunslinger, sharpshooter, and I have a dire wolf named Bear who is yay bigger than me.
Okay, thank you very much. Here is Lavinia Rose. Hello.
Hello, my name is Lavinia Rose. My actual name is Janice Schultz-Wilson, sometimes known as Janice Wilson, sometimes known as Janice Schultz. However, here I am Lavinia Rose, and I am a fortune teller, I am a healer, and I am a remover of undead. You have undead, you call me.
That's right, because you
Like
belong...
a Ghostbuster. Yeah. Who you gonna call? Lavinia!
And that is going to stick forever.
You, because you're a cleric who's part of the death cleric realm, right?
Yes, I am.
Right.
I follow, my character follows a goddess called Pharasma, who is the goddess of the dead, and casts the mission for me to her, undead of any type are really not good.
Okay, good. Let's go over to Mr. Percival Redfeather. Hello, sir.
Percival Redfeather. I'm played by Robert Woodbury, and I am a tracker, a hunter, and I've been known to, when pushed around too much, turn into a tiger.
That's right. He was cursed. Curse of the Weir Tiger happened a long time ago now in this game.
Yeah.
But he's still getting a handle on it. The last time you took damage and it caused the Weir Tiger curse to to overpower you, you actually had quite a bit of control for the first time, right?
Yes, things are starting to fall in line. I'm starting to learn how to control it. So it's rather like the Hulk. I just turn
That's
into
right.
it, and then
Hulk.
eventually I learn how to reconcile my forces and passions so that I can control the beast within.
Super. All right, let's say hello to Mr. Raven Alexium. Hello, sir.
Hello, I'm Glenn. I play Raven Alexium, the squishy wizard with a minor in alchemy.
Why did they call you a squishy wizard? How does that work?
It means I'm easily killed.
Squishy means that he can't take a lot of hits.
Yes. That's why I hide behind these guys.
So he always hides behind the big guys who take the hits.
That's
Can you
right.
tell us about your raven? You have a raven on your shoulder.
I do.
Why
She
is that?
my familiar. She is just my confidant, and I use her quite a bit for tracking and for just my general amusement. Say hello.
What is her name?
Drema, which is, I think it's Norse for dream.
Cool.
Isn't that cool? I love that name. I think that's amazing. And your mustache, it seems to be, there we go. Oh, it needs to be straightened out a little bit. There we go. I love that he wears that thing. Does it hurt clipping on your nose like that?
No, but it tickles terribly.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's worth it.
Terribly is a adorable alliteration.
We all have to make sacrifices for the game. Okay, so a couple of questions in chat real quick that were asked. One was, how am I feeling? So, update on what went on. I had kidney stone issues for about 4 or 5 months. They started back last summer, severe ones. Big kidney stones that will not pass, that had to be lasered out with surgery.
You shall not pass.
Yeah, that's what happened. They got stuck there. So I had that surgery in November, and I finally had the stents out. 2 months with stents, and that's not what you want to do. You want to have them out in a week. Finally, the appointment came up for me to get my stents out last week. It was one of the most painful experiences of my life. They don't put you under. It's like, oh, local anesthetic. Yeah, the local anesthetic was a little bit of numbing gel. And then it hurt like hell. I screamed. But that was only for 30 seconds. And then they were out. And after that, I had a rough couple of days, but then I healed up okay, and I'm good now. So hopefully that is the end of it. I've got a follow-up coming in 3 months, and we'll see if I am making any more stones. I'm trying to change diet so that I don't make any, drinking more citrus and other stuff so that kidney stones don't form. That's the bit of that. The other thing that was questioned was something from Depend Captain wanted to know about Amanda.
Oh,
Amanda, is there anything different? Anything slight? Anybody notice any slight change?
he always says this about me, that I look like Jessie from Toy Story, but maybe just a little bit more today. Maybe just a little bit.
Just a slight change.
Yes.
That's right.
Not quite so red.
People are going to wonder if that's your real hair.
Part of it's my real hair.
Yes, the pink part is real hair. So there we go. Okay, so quick review of where we are and what we are doing. 2 weeks ago, the Wylders finally got to the Fae Queen, delivered a message in a mirror to her that they have been carrying for quite a while. This message in the mirror, we're going to go to the adventure screen pretty quick. This message in a mirror, they had traveled, they were in the Feywood area. Now, do I need to put it on the screen behind me? I probably do, don't I?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, let's do that right away. I'm just going to go like this so that this makes it easier. We'll cast screen to Games TV. So they were at the World Tree looking for the Fae Queen in the middle of Feywood. And then they, from there, they traveled south. They finally caught up with the Fae Queen. Her name is Aerra. She was at the southern border with her army. And they were fending off the entire war party of the soldiering dead that have been moving north and trying to invade the Feywood. When they met Aerra and discovered the message in the mirror, they discovered that Leora Swiftkin had commissioned a bunch of the soldiering dead, that there was a ship that was on the major north-south river. We know it in our world as Mississippi. In that world, it's called Picatanu, which is actually the ancient name of the Mississippi, in case you didn't know that.
Nice.
That they were traveling north. They were going to make a parlay with the lizard people and get them to help them invade. That is what is known right now. And so Aerra the Queen gave you guys a quest that you're going to need to go and stop that ship from arriving, because that ship has got big chests full of the tribute that's going to be paid, or the gift, or the thing that's going to seal the pact between
Blood money.
the lizard people. Blood money. Yeah, that's right. That's a good name for it. It's the blood money. So that is where you're at. And you were discussing how you're going to sink the ship. And you were discussing what you're going to do. You left Alarra's tent at the very end of the last meeting and went to your own, where you're going to stay for the night. And as you get settled in the where you're staying for the night, in one of the pavilions that they set aside for you, is probably occupied previously by a few of their officers, elven officers, which now you can see some of their belongings still in the corners, that kind of thing. That's where you're going to stay for the night, because you embark tomorrow. There is a timeline on your mission, because you know that right now it is September the 27th, roughly, and you've got less than a month to get to that ship and to stop it, because you know that by the full moon in October, that is when the parlay has been completed and the lizard people begin to march south.
Sorry, when is the full moon in October supposed to happen?
That's
Is
a
it
good
the
question.
10th?
So let's have a look at the calendar. And I actually think on the calendar, the full moon
25th.
on October in this world is the 25th.
Okay, so we have 1 month, 30 days.
Yes, because right now, roughly, you are on... This is not right. It says the 22nd here. It should actually say the 27th. So I'm going to set that as the current date. There you go.
Okay. Keeping another timeline in mind, when we do actually have to keep dates in mind, we only have 1 year to return Thaddeus back to his bride.
10 months.
10 months. Next
Okay,
July,
well,
isn't it?
He's keeping track.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So as you're settling in for the night, all of a sudden an envoy comes to you, calls to you in the tent and asks to enter. This envoy, elven envoy, comes to you, and it is one of the female elves, and she has got a, I guess you could say it's a wooden tray, and on it there are 5 little bundles. And she says, this is something that was not discussed before, but the queen wanted you to have these as a thank you gift for what you did for Neluthel, the pixie, who was her spy, and who lost her life trying to get complete the mission for this message in mirror, that you guys had rescued her but weren't not able to save her. So she gives you these 4 little bundles. They're all identical. They're just a tiny little carved elven chest. And what do you want to do with them?
Should we open them?
Well, first we'll thank her.
Well,
Oh,
thank
okay.
you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you for the bottle.
Thank you so much.
All right. She says she'll pass your thanks on to Aerra, the queen,
Mm-hmm.
and then leaves the tent, leaves you with your little gifts.
Shall we open them to
Let's
see what?
open them together. Yeah.
All right. They're all
Open them
identical.
together.
As you open them, you see that there's nothing inside but a little glowing ball, and it begins to float up, swirls around your head 3 times, hits you, bloop, and bing, you level up to level 6. Congratulations.
Nicely
Congratulations.
done.
You're all level 6.
You're all level 6 now.
So you're going to have a look in your
wow.
Foundry pages.
Mm-hmm.
And in your Foundry pages, what we'll do is we'll open up your different character sheets. Here we're going to start. We'll just go with Josephine to begin with. Here she is, level 5. And I don't even remember how to do this stuff because we do so much role playing. We don't
I just
do the
put my
character
6
sheets.
in level 6 and it binged everything up.
Oh, let's try that.
I didn't do that. I'm sorry.
Here, let's try that. We'll go level 6. Enter. Bong. Does something happen? Well, it fixed
Look at all those
your hit points
62. Yeah.
and your AC. Now, I will probably have to spend some time this following week checking everybody's sheets to make sure that whatever new goodies you get, because if you go to things like feats, this is where it's important, and this is where you'll be choosing some new goodies. All right.
Okay.
So, because everybody gets a new feat at this level.
These are my feats.
And so that's what I want to do is this next week is you're going to have homework to research what feats you want to add that are available to your particular class. A feat that's going to give you some extra goodies and whatever other goodies about your class that is available to you.
Hopefully deem specific to the mission that we're on.
Right. So we're going to do that for everybody. You guys can go into your own sheets and update them, or I will update them later. Tonight, you're not going to need to worry about whatever your brand new abilities are that much because
still helping to level up.
Because you're traveling and all of those kinds of things right now. So you're not using any of the encounter stuff that this is mostly required for. We use your character sheets more for your encounters, for your fights and your spells and your weapons and your health and those kinds of things than we do for the role play that we do in this game. And right now you're role playing because you are in the Elven camp and you are not in any conflicts. You've just been given your mission. So that is your homework for this next week is to look up your stuff and get yourself to level 5.
Could I
Percy, you need
6?
me to, or level 6. Let me
Can I ask you a quick
Those
question?
I'll update Percy. I'll give everybody, I'll do the update here. Oh, Thaddeus got it. He's on it. Raven got it. Percy, I just did you.
Thank you.
Lavinia is done. Josephine's done. Okay, so you all have the right levels, and I'll double check about the other details. You had a question, Lavinia. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about Gingerbread House.
Gingerbread House.
Which is item 6. So does that mean that it is now active? Or do I have
All right, let's go to your inventory real quick, and we're going to look because, yes, where did you get that gingerbread house? You bought it
I bought
from
it
Monty,
from
the traveling
Monty.
tinker?
Yeah.
All right. So you have like a million things, and to find it, I'm just going to go Control F and go Ginger.
It's just under equipment.
There it is. I found it. It worked. Control F worked like a hot damn. All right. So gingerbread house says item level 6, gingerbread house made from magical gingerbread, sweetened with honey and spices, and further decorated with candles and icing. Its roof tiles are made of sugar. It can be held safely in one hand. It's very delicate. It's often stored within a wooden box, which is where it is right now because you've been keeping it somewhere in your goods.
Yeah.
Activate. 1 minute. Effect. The gingerbread house expands into a spacious and comfortable 2-story cottage with a fenced yard.
Big
what are
enough
the
for
details
all
on
of
this
us.
thing? Let's have a look at the
And
details.
anything
on
that was
this.
underneath it gets squished.
That's right. So watch out. If you have got ruby slippers and striped stockings on,
Yeah.
don't be standing there when the gingerbread house
Yeah.
appears.
Dun,
because-
dun, dun,
Although
dun,
the
dun, 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 dun.
milkshakes may bring all the boys to your yard. Just saying.
It could be.
Because your life is better
But
than
one
theirs.
of the things is that we have to make sure we do not eat any of it or else it will have a negative effect. So, but it's the
And I
choice.
think none of us have a sweet tooth.
But just to say, to
We're
know that
all
in
about
advance.
like the buffalo jerky and whatnot.
What if other critters eat it?
Oh dear.
Well, it depends on who wants to chew the scenery.
Well, you guys will have to be careful about that. Okay, so yes, your gingerbread house is now fully usable.
Okay.
Which is just fucking crazy that you guys are trooping around now with a pop-up gingerbread house.
Is
At
what it
least in
is.
this case, it can be eaten. It's not like the foldable boat that you did crazy things with in our last campaign. Okay, other questions about this stuff before we move on with other plans in the game tonight? Anybody have questions that they have about their character stuff right now?
I didn't have anything sitting around hovering like level 6 questions because I didn't think about it, but I'm sure I will have some for next week.
Okay, what about you, Raven?
I get another token for level 3.
A level 3 token. Well, you can have that right away. So I'm going to go
Okay.
find that. Any other questions from anybody else?
Yeah.
Let me see if I got tokens here.
I have
see.
quite a list, but we can talk offline.
Yeah, you and I had agreed, and I have been shirking my duties to... Here
Thank
you
you.
go. There's level 3. Is it just one level 3 spell you get?
Just one, yes.
And Janice?
Janice gets one as well.
Here, pass Janice's level 3 spell down as well. So we use
It's
these
not showing up on my thing,
poker
so we'll have
chips. And these poker chips are what we use for spell slots when we're playing. And this helps our players keep track of how many spells they've actually played in an encounter and how many they've got left for the day. Because otherwise we just forget to click boxes and then it causes confusion. Here, pass that one down to Janice.
I see. I've also got expeditious inspection.
Expeditious inspection.
Yes, which includes recall knowledge and a seek and a sense motive.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah,
Is that like in feats or where is it at?
it's in actions.
Actions. Look at that, a brand new one.
Yeah.
You can do this once per 10 minutes.
Yep.
You observe and assess your surroundings with great speed. You recall knowledge, you seek, or sense motive. Ooh, that's going to be good for diplomacy as well as for finding traps as well as for figuring out what's going on. Okay, that's good for me to know because you guys are going to need to tell me about your abilities that you have. It's hard for me to track this many people and all of the stuff that they've got all the
It's all
time.
good.
Any other questions? We're all good?
May I?
Yeah.
Do you tell how many when we level up do we plus up to look into the inventory to see what we could possibly do, like of our choices?
So in your inventory,
Not sorry, not in our inventory.
In your feats?
in the inventory, like the encyclopedia
Oh.
of things that we can do.
If you go to your
How-
feats page, I've got a couple that just say empty slot.
Oh, okay, and so just fill the empty slot. Thank you.
let's have a look at Josephine's to see if she has that as well. So you said per Thaddeus that yours, if we go to your feats page, you said?
Yep.
And we have a quick look here. General feats, trail. Here it goes.
The empty
Empty
slot.
Class feats,
Yeah.
level 6, empty slot.
Yeah.
Right.
Skill feats, level 6, empty slot.
Okay.
And then there's a little search icon here. You click
Right.
that, and that's going to load feats, and then it's going to bring up all the feats. Now, in this case, these are class feats. This might include all feats, which means that some of them may not be okay for you, but
Yeah.
I'll have to review the rules on that because most of the time I'm okay with, as long as it's not in direct conflict with your character, your class.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it working.
So I was finding when I was going through it that if
Thank
I
you.
went to the left-hand side and set, there's a filter there that I was using. Like,
Okay, let me have a look here. So if we go over to the left side where there are filters, here it says class feat, sort by level. So it's sorting them all so we can go all the way down to the level 2s. You got to wait for it to scroll. And then there are traits. I don't see anything else. Is that all you needed to do?
yeah, that's all I.
But here are the level 6s. So if you go down, you'll see all the level 6s. that you can pick from, anticipate it. In this case, we're looking, I believe, at Thaddeus. So Beast Gunner dedication, Bellaflower, it'll be all of them. Eldritch Archer dedication. So some of these may not be applicable to your character, but you'll be able to find the ones that are.
Yeah, that's good because
Awesome.
I didn't
Thank
know
you.
whether
Thank
it
you.
was like level 3 that we were supposed to be. Like I know we had level 3 spells.
No,
But-
for feats, it's level 6 feats.
Awesome.
And I think, and don't quote me on this, I think if you want to take a lower level feat in your level 6 slot, you can probably do that. All right. But anyways, so you will see those are there, and you now know where to search for it. Log in, go to your feats page, and use the little thing to see all the ones that are available. Okay, that sorted out. I'm going to double check and make sure that Lavinia's page has that as well, just to make sure. Lavinia's page, same thing. Empty slots. I can't believe it was that easy to change your level up stuff. We'll have a
I
look
can't
at
believe it's not easy. Like, let's put this
6.
in
Yeah, you're all good. You're all sorted. Everybody in
advertise it.
everybody in the party is good. Okay. Any other questions on level up stuff before we go back to where you are in your pavilion for the night?
Well, I think we're all just sitting around here wooing over being leveled up. This is level 6. But anything else? What we're doing?
I want to say hi to Sugarberries. She just got here a little while ago. She says hello.
Why does this keep turning off?
She loves the hair, Josephine.
Oh, yay.
So that's nice.
Thank you.
Okay, so it is now getting late. It's about 11 p.m. where you are in your pavilion in the encampment of the Elven host. What do you wish to do?
Sleep.
Sleep. Going to settle down and bed down for the night? Are there any particular things your
sleep.
characters need to prepare while you're doing
Are we
this?
on watches?
Are you going to set watches in the Elven camp, or are you going to worry about it?
I'd say
we
no.
Need to. Well, I'd say we need to.
Okay.
Only because within the Elven area, there still are those scoozies who want to take our thingies. Even though
That's very precise language.
I know.
You know? Yeah.
So, so the
I can't
translation
remember the name, but
for Josephine Scoozies who want to take our thingies is that she means they lost some gems to some pukas when they were in the middle of the Feywood and they had their own little camp happening.
exactly what I said.
So she's worried about more pukas sneaking into the giant Elven army host.
I'm going to cast alarm on a 20-foot burst around our pavilion.
Oh.
Oh, there's your wand, your
Whoa,
alarm
so
wand.
we can
Doo-doo-doo.
all rest peacefully because we've got alarm on.
There you go.
Wow.
Oh, let's all just like take a deep nap.
Okay.
Boy, imagine that.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to have a rest, you say, until morning?
I'm going to use this downtime to start making some scrolls of bless for Lavinia. How many do you want? You can have
one.
up to 4. Just one?
This one.
Okay.
I mean, I only have a recipe of one thing.
That's fine.
that requires-
You can use scrolls for later without using a spell slot, but it's up to you. I can only make one if you prefer. Okay, when it is.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you're going to pass the night. We're going to see how you do. We're going to use the big die. Oh, I got the wrong camera. There we go. Look, this is a present from Rob this year. It's kind of
Love
spongy.
this
It was Christmas present when we did gift exchange. We're going to use it to see if anything happens. We're going to roll it on the table. Here we go. Bong, bong, ba-dum, bong. And what is it?
A 7.
7. Oh my God. Good. Okay. I thought it was a 1 and I was going to get sidetracked with having to do something, but if it's a 7, that's okay. It doesn't matter. Nothing's happened. You end up passing a nice quiet night with no problems.
Thank you.
You feel fully rested in the morning. And the first thing that happens while you're waking up in the morning is that all of a sudden, Lavinia hears a sound coming from her bag. And it's not a sound coming from Abuela. It's a sound that it's not a sound coming from Abuela, I said. It is a sound that kind of sounds. Where's that wand? Give me one of those wands. It sounds a lot like one of Glenn's magic wands. It sounds like this. Oh, I guess it's down here. And it keeps on ringing every 30 seconds.
Hello?
Someone switch it to Lavinia, please.
Hello?
Well, maybe it's your crystal orb.
Could be a
is,
crystal orb.
pinging you.
Hate to state the obvious, but yes.
Expeditious inspection.
It's all right. This is the day where I need the obvious.
Okay, very good.
Okay, so you pull
Oh,
as you pull out your crystal ball, and right now we have your crystal egg because we haven't got a crystal ball for you yet here. As you pull out the crystal ball, sure enough, that is what has been ringing, right?
I love it.
And on the other end of the crystal
Could it be
ball, guess who's on the other end of the call?
Quillius! Hello, my friend. How are you?
Well, yes, Quacksalver. So you hear this thunk, thunk, thunk. Hello? Hello? Is this thing on? Lavinia?
Hello, Quillius.
Lavinia?
How are you?
Sometimes it is so hard to get hold of you, but that's all right. I've been up all night.
I have been told this before, my friend.
Thank you. So I wanted to let you know that there's a messenger coming. He's going to arrive in a few hours, flying something to you.
Ah, wonderful. Thank
I
you so much.
saw in my scrying bowl all the things that happened when you met the Fey Queen. It was pretty easy to put 2 and 2 together about the ship that you are going to be going to, and you need something to be able to sink that ship. So I got something for you to use. Now you're going to have to modify it, and I'll leave that up to Raven and to Thaddeus to do. But here it is. And he lifts up this big, round, earthen jug. And you recognize it as one of his regular jugs of quackshine. He says, now this is a special batch. Highly flammable, highly explosive. And you notice in the top here, I've fashioned this special cork with a little wick that you can light. Now this wick wouldn't usually work underwater, but I've dipped it in some chemicals. So as long as you light it on land, or light it when there's air around it, when you submerge it, it's not going to go out. It's going to continue to burn down. Now you have got 15 minutes to get this in place before it blows. Here's the thing. Of course, it's not going to do enough damage to the hull of a thick ship that's floating on the water all by itself. You're going to need to wrap it around in some kind of material that's going to cut into that ship and help blow the hole open in that ship. It'll provide the explosion for you, but you're going to need something metal or something stone, some kind of pellet, some kinds of shot, something that you're going to have to modify around this little bomb that I'm sending to you. So you'll have to figure that out. But like I said, you have to light it while you're up in regular open air, and then you've got 15 minutes that it will keep burning in any atmosphere, so you can submerge it then, and then when it blows, it should be a big enough explosion that as long as there's something wrapped around it that can tear through those heavy oak timbers, maybe it'll do the job for you. You're going to have to place it in the right place, though, too. It's got to be well below the water line, because it's probably going to blow a hole 3 or 4 feet wide.
So how much range outside of the blow is it going to affect? Like if somebody is swimming over with it or whatever, how far away do they need to be to not be affected?
Well, when this thing blows, first of all, you're also going to have to figure out how to attach it to the hull. That's going to be another problem for you. You're going to need something sticky or goopy, but it's got to be so sticky and goopy it sticks underwater, and I don't know how you're going to solve that. The other thing is you might think about some kind of thumb screws that maybe you could screw into the wood. You're going to have to be quick with them, though, just so that they hold it to the wooden hull. Now, when it goes off, you don't want to be in the water anywhere within 200 yards of it. Because if you're in the water within the 200 yards, the sound shock wave from that will blow your ears out. It's going to kill the fish in that range too. So you might be able to pick up a fish supper, chicken of the sea supper, if you're quick. But that's up to you. I've already sent it off. It's on a little surprise that I've got heading your way, and you're going to find out more about that this morning. All right, that's it. I'm signing off now. Any
Thanks
last
a lot.
questions before I go? Last questions.
Do you guys have any questions?
Love you, Quilius. Mwah, miss you.
Can we use pitch to stick it to the ship?
If you can get that pitch to stick underwater,
Well,
you
that's
can
what
test
it's
and
for.
see.
Yeah.
Like sap from trees.
Pitch. It's boiled sap, and it's waterproof, but it's extremely sticky. When you make it in a thinner
Sap is
concentration,
nasty.
so it's not super thick, and then you can stick it. Or we need grease because we're essentially making a modified sock bomb. But
Yeah, no, like
Grease would
okay,
work.
Sovereign glue.
Like let him.
Sovereign
Do
glue.
we have any
questions for him?
Quilius?
Yep. Can he send me the alchemy recipe for sovereign glue?
Sovereign glue?
Yeah.
All right, I'll see what I can do. You know what? I've got an idea. I know somebody who can help you out with that. You're in the camp right now, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He looks into the ball. He looks over at Raven, and he says, "This is what I want you to do. You go seek out Moraz. You
Moraz.
tell him that Quilius is said for him to help you with that. He knows the recipe for sovereign glue. He'll help you out.
Awesome.
All right. Now
other
remember, time is of the essence. So when that thing arrives, you should try and have it built by this afternoon if you can, so that you can get off and get headed on your expedition.
Thank you.
I thought you'd have a little more time in the camp, but now with the last turns of developments, and you don't know what they are yet, I'm going to leave you with a surprise for a few hours. With these last turns of events, you've only got until supper time before you've got to leave.
So I'd say we should pack up and get out of here.
All right.
Pack
Now you got to
and be
wait.
ready.
Okay, like
You have to wait for the bomb to arrive, first of all, and then you've got to modify it. And while you're doing that, Raven's got to go and find out from Moraz about the sovereign glue.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right.
So a couple of us on packing, a couple of us on building once it comes. But no, we still have to wait until you come back. No, we can build the bomb while waiting for the glue. So you guys build the bomb. We're doing the packing. Let's go.
All right. So Quilius now signs off, says okay, and as he signs and says goodbye,
Thanks,
you
Quilius.
you see the
The
actual globe that the small moonstone crystal ball that Lavinia has. You see it fade back to just a regular clear blank crystal ball, and now we will continue with the game.
We have almost a month to build the bomb.
A month is nothing when the majority.
You could build it while you're traveling if you wish to do that, but you're going to need the supplies on the way.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. We need to to ensure that we are ready to be able
Well,
to.
Has anybody seen the Queen of the Nile?
Yeah, the Queen of the Nile. You mean with Katharine Hepburn and Humphrey Bogart?
Mm-hmm.
That's an excellent
Do
movie.
you remember the end?
No, because I saw it 30 years ago.
Okay. In the end, they put a torpedo forward in the boat
That's right. yes.
and desert the ship
Oh,
and
that's the African
launch it.
Queen.
The African Queen.
Queen.
African Queen. There it is. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they launched the boat at the enemy, and it acts as a torpedo.
Oh,
I have a
interesting,
question as to whether that might be a way to do it.
Interesting.
So,
yes,
and-
like just a freaking like
Right.
insignificant canoe or
Right.
rowboat or whatever.
Right. So, I mean, we could sacrifice the boat and end up winning the war.
Well, so the other thing is, like,
Hmm.
obviously, we have a person who can spend lengthy times underwater,
Right.
who also is really good with stealthiness,
Yeah.
who could find the midpoint of a boat and crack it in half and just put it right in the underbelly. And
Because this would hit it at the
hope-
water line, I guess. So I don't know whether that would
I think right at the belly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw Titanic and
think it-
it
yeah.
kind of
We
scraped
went
the
in the
belly
hull.
and just went all everywhere.
Yeah, and I guess the problem then becomes getting those little screws in there or making it hold to the ship.
Where are we
Or-
finding said screws?
Or
Yeah.
pitch.
Or
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 the pitch or
the
the glue.
glue.
Now, I remind you in this case, Thaddeus said that this particular bomb, the way he's got it fashioned, it does not have an impact trigger. It's
Quilius.
got a fuse.
Quilius, not Thaddeus.
Quilius.
Quilius, sorry. Quilius said it's got a fuse.
Yeah.
You're going to have a difficult time if you put it on a boat as the front of a boat as a missile. You're going to have a difficult time having it timed perfectly to strike against
Yeah.
the hull of the ship that you want to attack and have the fuse go off at the same time.
No,
I think we're better with plan A.
Quick swimmer, straight into the underbelly, straight out. Hopefully, you can swim fast enough
So,
away.
so
Otherwise, RIP. We appreciate your.
But
Devotion to
he
the
said
cause.
he's going to need it to. It's the explosive
Sacrifice.
itself. Is the quack
Quackshire. Oh,
shine.
Quack shine.
yeah, it's
But
Quackshine.
you're going to need to coat it with stones or something to act as a claymore.
Yes.
So
Yes.
maybe we should use copper coins or
Or how about ammunition?
Barrichello
Somebody's gun ammunition.
you don't use gold because that's too soft.
Bullets.
Bullets
Yes.
coated with bullets.
Yeah.
we
We've
have
got
enough
we've
bullets?
got like a whole bunch of like what we've gathered from the soldiering dead, just little pouches of pellets that are useless.
Okay, that might work.
And stones and
Well, I mean, if we use
And
a
by
mix
then we
of
can-
different things.
yeah, we'll use a mix of different things
Yes.
and adhere them with the same adhesive.
Yeah.
okay. So you've got the morning now to finish your morning preparations. Is there any other morning preparations you want to do before you leave the pavilion?
I would like to brush my teeth, thank you.
Okay. So Josephine is brushing her teeth.
And I am finishing up my sculpture of the
Elven captain.
Elven Captain, and I'm going to start on one of the Fairy Queen.
Okay.
So, yeah, we should, and I'm going to basically work on that as we travel, but I figured it would be nice to have a little sculpture of each of the momentous people who we encountered.
That's a
That's
cool
really
idea.
lovely. Yes.
Anything else? All right. So as you finish your morning preparations and you emerge from the tent, it's about 7 a.m. There are various places that you can pick up some breakfast if you want, so you don't need to use your rations. You also have something that Raven needs to do.
I need to go and find Miraz, I believe.
Yes.
And I have no idea who Miraz is, so I'm going to start asking around.
All right. Does anybody in the party remember who Moraz is? Moraz was the last of the Hobbs.
Okay.
Monty, when you met him, the traveling tinker, told you months ago about Moraz the High Hob and the War of the Little People. Because he's a hob, he is a natural fire spirit. He looks like a gnome. basically. But he is a fireplace hearth spirit, and so he naturally is able to use fire magic. And he is one of the Queen's most senior advisors, if not her most senior advisor, because all of the rest of the Hobbs sacrificed themselves for him to give him the power that he needed to defeat Wildon during the battle with of the Wee Folk. You remember any of that? Anybody got any? Does that bring up any?
That's a very long ago.
I remember.
So sad that none of us remember. I'm so
I
sorry,
know.
Dave.
Makes
I'm
me
so
sad.
sorry.
You can watch the video of Monty talking about Miraz the High Hob, because it was one of the tales that he told you at the campfire.
Yeah, I do remember the tale, but that it
All right.
existed. But.
So as you ask around about Miraz, one of the Elven commanders says, "I will pass the word along to the Queen, and Miraz will find you."
Okay.
You don't find Miraz; Miraz will find you. So after about a half hour of waiting, the same Elven captain comes back to you and says to Raven that Miraz will he will visit you in the pavilion where you stayed last night.
Mm-hmm.
But just you, Raven, he is not very sociable these days with other folk.
Just like me, Raven? Is that what I heard?
No,
just you.
Oh, just me. Oh,
Just you. Okay.
I mean, I don't have very good charisma, but
No.
The reason that he wants to meet just with you is
he will
that,
only talk to you.
and then the Elven captain stoops down to you and says, "He does not suffer fools well, so you don't want him to be talking to anybody else except you, just in case his temper flares."
okay. Thank you for that info.
All right. So as you get back to your pavilion, to the tent, and you walk in, you can smell as soon as you walk in the smell of a very sweet tobacco that's been smoked, and it's in the room. And you look over, and sitting on one of the elven packs is a tiny little 2-foot tall gnome. He's smoking a pipe, and
Oh gosh.
basically this is what he looks like. As you come in, and the pipe, now this picture doesn't show that his hat is just as tall as he is. I can't get these images to be exactly the way I want them to be. This is the closest to Miraz's face as I could get. But his hat is in fact quite tall and conical, and taller than it shows in this image. Other than that, he looks very much like this. You notice that he's wearing some woolen trousers and suspenders, but he's not wearing a shirt. He's actually so personally hairy that's his own hair that covers his chest, his arms.
It's the Robin Williams.
and right up to his long scraggly beard. You notice he's got quite big ears. So he is noticeably different from gnomes in that he's shorter and smaller than many other gnomes. And he has different facial features and bigger ears than most gnomes. And as you walk in, he pulls the pipe out of his mouth and in this very low voice, very solemnly says, "Hello, you must be Raven." And then he puts the pipe back in his mouth and he starts to puff. And our timer has just gone off. So we are going to actually leave it right there before our break. Raven catches his first sight of Miraz. And for everybody else, we have had our timer go off, which means that our time is up for this session. We are going to take a 15-minute break. It is 7:56, so we're going to try and come back right about 10 after 8 p.m. That's Mountain Standard Time, 7:56 where we live right now. So it'll be between 10 after 8, 15 after 8 that we will be back after break. If you're watching us live, stick around, come back and see us after our commercial break. And if you're watching one of our episodes, you can fast forward through this and jump to the next episode that's going to start in 15 minutes. Everybody say thank you and thanks for
you.
watching.
Thanks for
see you
watching.
guys in
Thanks
a
for
little while.
watching.
All right, we'll be back in 15. All right, there we are. Welcome back. Hi there. I am Dave Wildson, and welcome to our second session tonight of the Wylders game. We haven't done the clacker in a while, so this is a D&D style game. It's a role-playing game, and we play it most Wednesdays. Not every Wednesday. Right now, we're playing every other Wednesday, but we will play it next week if everybody is up for it. Just so you guys know. And I'm going to go around the table. We're going to say our quick highs, and then we're going to continue on with the story. Before I do, though, I want to talk about, we want to all thank everybody around the table. We will all thank Raven because he brought snacks for break like he always does. Thank you, Raven.
Yes,
So
thank you, Raven.
good. Delicious
So awesome.
snacks.
So this is what it was. So he brought like healthy snacks.
Yeah.
Look at this. Shish kebab skewers.
With bocconcini.
Like bocconcini. Yum, yum, yum.
Bocconcini
Prosciutto.
salad on a
On a
skewer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
And there was a beautiful balsamic glaze that you could pour on it. And then he also had some really great oatmeal cookies. They have a bunch of stuff in them. I don't know what's exactly in them, Raven. What's in these?
Let's see, coconuts, artificial sweetener because they're keto.
That's right. They're keto cookies.
Yep.
Keto. So that's cool. So we want to thank Raven especially for that because that was very
They're
kind.
basically nut cookies. Like everything is nuts.
Yum, yum, yum.
Yes.
Good. That would make me a cannibal.
That fits in.
Okay.
Live
Nuts
better
for nuts.
live better through alchemy.
That's right. Better living through chemistry.
Thank you,
There's a
Raven.
website in that.
There
Boy,
must
oh
be.
boy.
There must be.
I should start
We
publishing these
appreciate
recipes.
you, Raven,
Yes,
for
I should.
That's a
all,
good idea.
all the
It's a
treats
fun
that you
idea.
bring, and
We
especially
can put them on Facebook.
making sure to like make all your treats friendly for everyone involved. That is like so kind of you. You're a kind wizard.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, so here's our quick intros and highs around the table. Here's Mr. Thaddeus. Hello, sir.
Hello, my name is Ian Little, and I'm playing the role of Dr. Thaddeus Poindexter.
A regular, good old country doctor
Absolutely.
with sharp knives and other sneaky talents. And here's
Surgical
Josephine.
equipment.
I'm
Surgical
Josephine
equipment.
Smith. Mess with the Josephine Smith. Get the pew pews.
Those would be your guns?
Those
Yes.
would be my guns. I'm not willing to pull them out right now.
Okay.
So but I'm not done.
Okay. Go ahead.
I am a sharpshooter and gunslinger, and I have a companion who is a dire wolf who is very big, and he will also eat you if you mess with anyone that I love. So you get the double slam, the pew pews, and the if you mess with us. And now we can move on.
Okay. I guess we're going to move on. Actually, we're going to jump to the end to Raven. The other two are busy right now. Hello, sir.
Hello, I'm Glenn LaValle. I play Raven Alexium, and I have a familiar. Her name is Dorema. And I also do alchemy.
Yes, as we were talking about before. Lavinia, hello.
Hi, my name is Lavinia Rose. My actual name away from the games table is Janice Wildson. And this is Abuela Mala.
Right.
My grandmother's spirit got, I don't know, cast into this, I guess is the fair enough way of
Trapped
putting
in
it.
the skull.
Yep, got cast and trapped into the skull. And so part of our mission is to be able to help her resolve this. And I'm passing it on to our next person.
And so, Mr. Percy, hello.
Percival Red Feather. I am a tracker and a bounty hunter. And don't push me too far because I turn into a tiger. And I will. I've been cursed with a weird tiger curse, which when I am hurt drastically, I basically Hulk out and become this weird tiger, and it doubles my strength and all kinds of other wonderful features. And I'm only recently getting it under control so that I can manage it.
You should show that too.
Well, it's still working on it.
There you can see the upside down
Colors.
Grogu.
The colors are coming in. Yeah.
He has a brand new tattoo. This is from. Here, let me get my head out of the way.
There we go.
No, and then twist.
Yeah. Twist
And then
it.
shift
A
to the
full
right.
color Grogu.
You put your hands on the hips.
Or is it a Grogu or a Yoda?
And my knees in touch.
It's Grogu.
Yeah, it's Grogu. And my daughter, Sarah, did this at her tattoo parlor out in Smoky Lake. Because she has a tattoo parlor, and she promised me that she would do a tattoo, and she delivered. My other daughter, who does tattoos, did not deliver on her promise.
All right.
I never got a tattoo from
So
her.
you have 2 tattoo daughters.
Well,
2 tattoo doing.
yes.
Two daughters who
Tattooing.
also are tattoo artists.
Artistic, yes.
So 2 of your many daughters
Yep,
do
the 3.
tattoo.
2 of your many daughters.
I have 3 daughters. Yes.
All
You
right.
make it sound like there are like 17
Like
more.
17 women hanging around the world, and they all call me
It
dad.
just seems like that.
We will continue on now. So Dave is now taking control of the camera and continuing on because we're going to. Oh, have we got a question from Raven? Hold on. Yes,
Did you set
sir.
the timer?
Yes, I did set the timer.
That's it.
So we're going to play for another 45 minutes, something like that. And that'll be it for tonight. We're doing 2 sessions a night right now, and I'm pretty happy with that. I don't want to do the third. It's taking us too late into the night sometimes. If we played earlier on a weekend, maybe that'd be a different story. But right now, we're going to continue on, and I want to
What's
go
a
back to where
weekend?
we were.
I'm sorry. Like,
What's a weekend?
It's like
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Do any of us experience regular weekends?
No, because most of us work on the weekend,
Yes.
especially as performers, and you with your job as well.
Uh,
Okay, so on the adventure screen to my right there, you can see a picture of Moraz. He is a small hob. A hob is not a hob. Well, it's like a hobgoblin, but a hob is a. This is different than the regular D&D bestiary. A hob is, in ancient fairy lore, is a hearth spirit. And this particular hob has agreed to come and meet. He's one of the chief advisors to Queen Alara, and Raven needs some help from him. So he has agreed to appear and talk to Raven in the tent, and he is sitting in the pavilion that they stayed in the big elven army encampment last night, and he is on a pack, and as he sees Raven, he says hello to him, and is there to help him. He wants to know what Raven wants.
Well, thank you, Maraz. I really appreciate you helping me out. And I am actually in need of some adhesive or instructions or help with making an adhesive. And it's to make a bomb that's going to stick to the side of a boat that we want to blow up to, save the universe and world as we know it. And I'm hoping you can help me with some alchemy concepts or what you would recommend.
And so Moraz looks at you curiously, and he says, "And who particularly sent you my way?"
It was the queen, actually. Actually, no, it was Quilius Quagmire.
oh, okay.
Quacksilver.
Quacksilver, yes, suggested that we speak with you because you were all-knowing and very helpful and intelligent gnome.
All right. So at the mention of Quilius Quacksilver's name, you see understanding come over his face. And he says, "Oh, Quilius, of course. I should have known it would have been him. Now, what is this glue that you are looking for? You said that it was called
Well, there's
something.
There's a
something
couple of
something.
choices. Yeah, sovereign glue is what.
How do you spell
familiar
it?
With SOVEREIGN.
Sovereign glue. So this is something that is in the Pathfinder world. We use the Pathfinder game to play. And if this is what you're looking for, particularly, Moraz says that he's never made any. He's not intimately familiar, but he can give you the general idea of it. This says this peculiar amber glue bonds 2 surfaces together almost inseparably. A single flask covers an area. of 1 square foot and must be used at once to form a single bond between the two surfaces. If the activation is interrupted, the bond fails and the glue is wasted. Once two surfaces are joined with sovereign glue, they can be separated only with a successful DC 50 athletics check. The adhered objects tend to break before the glue does, so on and so. It can affect creatures only if they are willing, and its bond can be harmlessly broken by carefully exfoliating the outlayer of skin. You're not going to glue a person with it anyways. All right, he says, okay, sovereign glue. Well, I generally understand what you're going to need for this, and he gives you a rough list for you to sketch down of some things. And he says, mind you, you're going to have to boil it for 24 hours. So make sure you find the time to cook it up before you use it. And once you boil it up, it's going to thicken and harden within about probably 6 to 12 hours. So you only have a certain window that you're going to be able to use it in that time before it hardens. So once you apply it, and you can put it in a bottle and you can transport it, but once you apply it and it is open to the air, I wouldn't trust it for more than 6 hours before it's going to harden over. So you better use it in that time.
Okay, I know it's a level 7 item. Would I be able to create this as a level 6 character?
So Dave Wildson, the webmaster, goes, or the game master goes, hocus pocus. No, it's not. It's a level 6 item.
Excellent.
Woohoo!
Yay. Divine intervention.
That's right. We're just going to retcon that down to level 6 so you can use your sovereign glue. So you now have that for sovereign glue. He looks at you and he says, you know, I can see just by looking at you that you've got some power with my own native fire. And all of a sudden he flares up his hand, and this is what he looks like when he does it. And he's got a very interesting, sinister look in his eye, and he asks you with this twinkle in his eye, how did you come by the fire powers that you have, young man?
Oh, Moraz, it's quite a long story. It has to do with my father's history, my grandfather's history. And unfortunately, that's part of our big, long saga here, is to defeat that evil guy. But because of him and my mother, my grandmother, I have the history and behaviors with fire as part of my disposition and my heritage.
He looks at me and he says, your grandfather and your grandmother, you say, what was your grandmother's name?
I knew you were going to ask me that. So I'm going to stall while I look it up.
You wrote the bio, Mr. Glenn LaValle, 3 years ago.
Yes.
You wrote the biography.
That's why I don't remember it.
Well, you know what we can do? We can go to
my website.
To the website, our very own website. We do have a website, and I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's actually go have a look at our very own website, because it is Wildermage, WYLDERMAGE.com. And if we go to the Wildermage website,
Beautiful thing that it is.
and I haven't done any updates on it in a long time, so I'll try and have a look at it. If we go to that, you're going to see that there are different links at the top, and one of them is for Raven. It's going to have Raven's biography. And come on, there it is. A picture of Raven Alexium, the character, and his story. And I think right at the top here, it says that you were born in 1864, the youngest of 3 of 2 older sisters, and that you're a direct descendant of
Evangeline
Laveau, who was the daughter of
Marie
Laveau, who is known as the Voodoo Queen of New Orleans. Okay, so when you share this information with Moraz, his eyes light up a little more with quite a surprise. He says, Marie Laveau, I've heard that name before. I've heard of her daughters. You know, she had 3 daughters. I believe that would mean that your grandfather is actually Iago the Warlock himself, Santiago Paris. Is that right?
Regrettably so.
You know he's a warlock.
That's also regrettable.
You know where warlocks get their power?
From their charisma.
No, they use charisma to do their magic, but they get their power as a warlock by making a pact,
right, with a
demon. Demonic entity. So there is something behind Iago. Don't forget it. And with that, he says, any other questions you have for me? I have other duties that I need to attend to for the Queen today, and he wants to know if there's anything else that you want to talk about first.
Perhaps he can, Moraz, you might give me a little more insight into the demonic assist or arrangement that Diago has made. Can you share any light on that?
He looks at you and he says, well, being a fae, it's not my area of expertise. What I learned of it, I learned from Quilius himself. So I would suggest that the next time you get an opportunity to see Quilius, you ask him specifically about that. Once again, he's a wizard, and I don't know how much knowledge he's got of how warlocks work and whether or not you'll be able to use it to your advantage. But talk to Quilius about it. Maybe he's got some other tips that he can give you. Hey, Glenn, I'm going to get you to just pivot your camera too, because it's showing halfy. Other way.
Probably compliments of the cat.
Yes, it is. It's compliments of our cat, Larry, who jumps up on the table and pushes all the cameras around as well as all the minis and everything else.
I'm sorry. Raven, did you actually get the answer that you were looking for? A recipe for something that
I
would
did.
help? Okay.
Yes, I have a recipe for sovereign glue.
Oh, okay.
And it lasts for about 6 hours, and it takes a minute to apply.
Awesome.
So the recipe that he has given you, that he mentioned to you, is a list that includes, and we're going to put in the crafting module that we've got. I'll get that done this week. It's a recipe that includes some pitch, a couple of special herbs, a fungus, fire-starting fungus, and a couple of other alchemical reagent things that you'll need. And then you boil them up for a day, and you've got sovereign glue.
So something we can all help gather things for. And
Yep, for sure.
Our dog Simon is bugging me under the table, but then he runs away when I go to pick him up, as usual, because he's a chicken in a poodle suit. All right.
Chicatapoo.
Chicatapoo. Now, going back to that, Miraz then all of a sudden takes off his hat, takes his pipe out of his hand, and you notice that the pipe is very long, not like the picture you had before, but the pipe it's a good 2.5 feet long. Puts it into the hat, even though it's longer than the hat. Puts the hat back on his head. Looks at you, winks, snaps his fingers, and poof, vanishes.
And there he is, gone.
And there he is gone. Anything else what are you going to do now? I imagine you're going to rejoin the group.
I shall.
All right.
And I tell him what happened and the history of the glue and the constraints.
As you finish your meeting with them, all of a sudden, and as you get back to the rest of the group, you hear this murmur rising throughout the whole encampment around you. You can hear people all of a sudden mumbling to each other and all looking to the north. As you turn and look to the north, you notice that a big shadow is starting to cover the whole encampment.
Uh-oh.
And as you look up, you see this massive golden sky ship.
Yay.
Floating over top of the cabin. It's not a city, it's a sky ship. It looks like a full-blown galley, golden galley, with huge sails and giant, almost like wind oars on the side. And it slowly covers over the whole encampment almost, because it is so big, and comes to a stop right there, directly over the area where the Queen's Court is.
Somebody order a skyboat?
From the boat, slowly lowering down, comes a ladder, a big ladder. And the boat is at its lowest point that it can be. It's about 200 feet up. Coming down from it is this ladder, and as you look at this ladder, you realize that each of the rungs on this ladder are the size of a log. Each of the rungs on this ladder are roughly 10 feet in length and 2 feet or 3 feet in diameter.
Oh, wow.
You've never seen ropes so thick and big woven as the ropes that have been bound and twisted and attached to these logs as this rope ladder slowly lowers itself down.
And what's the gap between the rungs?
And the gap between the rungs is about 4 feet, maybe 5.
Oh, wow. So
5
like
feet.
one of Lavinia.
Yes.
So there would be giants on this ship.
Well, as you're looking, eventually you see a huge figure leaning over the deck, looking down at you.
Don't look at his junk.
And all of a sudden, he swings his leg over and starts to work his way down the ladder. And as he is climbing down the ladder, you get your very first view ever of one of the Anua, an Anua giant. He has got jet black skin. The blackest skin you've ever seen in your life. He is huge. He is massively muscled. And he looks like this.
Wow.
Oh, my.
Nice.
So there's kind of a picture, a little bit of a picture of the Sky Galleon, the flying Sky Galleon. And the hat that he's wearing as he comes down, you can clearly see it looks kind of like it's a captain's hat. So you assume that he must be the captain of this particular ship, which it seems unusual to you that he would be the one coming down by himself instead of sending somebody else.
Never send the captain on away missions.
That's right. It's like Star Trek.
Like Star Trek.
Never
You
do
send the
that.
captain
Always.
away.
He's always on the away mission.
I think that in this case,
However, the Fey Queen is standing right here, so
and that's exactly the reason. So Josephine surmises that he is the one coming down himself because the ladder ends up right in front of the Fey Queen's pavilion, and he is coming down to actually meet and speak with the Fey Queen. So he comes down the ladder, turns around, surveys everybody around him, and you judge roughly from where you're standing that his height must be approximately between 16 feet, roughly 16 feet tall, maybe a little bit taller. So he is 3 times the height of Lavinia, more than that.
Do we even come up to his kneecap?
You come up to his thigh.
16
Come up to
16 feet. That would be, oh gosh, 6. That
2 of him. Actually,
3,
2.5.
3 of him.
3 of him, yeah.
He's 6 feet.
I'm 6 feet.
3 of them.
Yeah. So 3 of me. Good.
Just under 3.
18 feet.
So that's correct.
So yeah, kneecap would be approximately right. Yeah.
So he looks around at the elven host and bows his head slightly. You notice that his eyes have got a very golden glow to them. Turns around, and as he turns around, Alara, the Queen of the Fae, actually comes out of her tent along with her retinue, and the two of them begin talking in a language that you do not recognize. And apparently it's the language of the Anua, and Lara is able to speak it. As they are talking, Alara nods to him a couple of times, signals to the captain that greeted you when you entered the camp, signals to, speaks a few words to him. He nods to her, and the captain comes over to you. And the captain says to you that, and whispers quietly to you, because they are still talking, whispers quietly to you that this is Marduk. Marduk is a captain of the Anua fleet, and he is a free trader. He is here at the behest of Quilius Quacksilver, and he says that he has something aboard his ship for you. He also brings messages to the Queen from Quilius on some other matter, but he wishes for you to be presented to him so that he can give you the message from Quilius. So Marduk is too big to go into the Queen's pavilion.
I have a silly question.
Okay, what's your question, Mr. Percy?
Let's say theoretically that I have a ring that would allow me to speak any language and understand it. Would I be able to activate it now?
It's still morning, and you're supposed to set it up for the morning every morning, right?
Right.
To use it for the rest of the day.
Yes.
Have you activated it this day yet?
I have not yet.
All right. I'm going to say that going forward, that by the time noon passes, if
Okay.
you haven't chosen a language for the rest of the day, that it remains inactive for that day.
Okay.
But any time in the morning between 6 a.m. and noon, if you activate that ring, then it'll be set for the rest of the 24 hours until 6 a.m. the next morning.
Okay, well, I want to activate my ring and indicate the language of the yeah.
All right. So how do you know which language it might be?
Well, because he's a great big Anu guy, and kind of go language of the Anu.
You could have also asked the captain, and he would have told you what they were talking and speaking.
Yeah.
So you activate it, and as soon as you activate it, you are able to understand what they are saying.
Okay.
And you hear Marduk in his big, deep, booming voice. His voice carries very well. You can't really hear the responses from the queen to him, but you can hear him as he speaks, and you hear him saying, "Yes, I will do that. I owe Quilius a second favor, and this will clear my slate with him anyways. So we will consider it his favor and not a favor to you, my queen.
Okay.
Also, I have come with letters from the leader of the closest Anua city, which I'm going to have to make a name up for later on. And these are letters with a request for some light beam supplies. So you can write a letter and respond, or you can give me that information or send it to them a different way. Okay, I'm going to stop for a sec because I got a question from Josephine.
Just like a side request to Percy. Maybe Percy, would you mind asking them if we could hitch a ride as opposed to taking
You're not the only one who thought of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't, that
it's
was
good
my
point.
yes.
And I don't know if we have the right to ask
No,
that.
well, if the conversation comes up, if we maybe have something in trade, like some tridents, or I don't know.
Well, and if there's a break in conversation,
Yes, yeah.
I can find a way to diplomatically
Exactly.
Yeah.
So sorry for interrupting.
Oh,
That
no.
was
Yeah, you have an
aside.
excellent point.
Okay. So as they finish their conversation, the queen turns, sees you across the crowd, and beckons to you to come over, and beckons your entire group of Wylders to come over to where she and Marduk have been talking. All right.
Okay.
As you get there, the Queen Alara looks at you and says, I'm trying to do a touchscreen when this isn't a touchscreen. Queen Alara looks at you and says, well, this is fortunate indeed. It looks like Quilius has solved 2 of our problems for you in one stroke. I understand that Marduk has something for you on the boat that will help you in sinking the ship that you need to intercept on the river. And in addition to that, it appears that Marduk is willing to offer you a ride.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay. Can I say thank you very much, Marduk, for your assistance in his language?
All right. So Marduk looks down at you in surprise, and you hear this big booming laugh out of him. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, one so courteous and one so small. It's few of the little folk that I get to speak with in my own language. How come by you doing this? I expect it is by some magic. Are you a wizard yourself?
I am not, my liege. I am a warrior, and I simply have possession of a magic enchanted item which allows me to understand languages.
I sense that you must be a group of Wylders, are you not?
We are, my liege, but shall I call you Captain?
Yes, you can call me Captain Marduk, or just Marduk for short.
Well, thank you, Marduk. We appreciate that we would look like normal Wylders, but we have come to this world from another. Oh, we have come to this world from another world, and so we are not like the Wilder Mage. We are a different group and a different people, but we are all adventurers and here of one heart to help the Elven Queen and the people of this land of Aerra.
He gets a big, wide, toothy smile on his face and says, yes, I surmised that you were not from Wildermage because of the look of your rather ragtag garments. The Wilder Magi do enjoy their rich, sumptuous robes. And you are here, and they are there. And they do not leave the confines of their small territory very often. So Quilius has already kept me up to speed on what you require, and I am going to take you westward. This will shorten your journey by 2 weeks at least.
Wonderful.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Wow.
That should give you enough time to plan, once you are there, how you're going to accomplish your mission, as I understand it, is to intercept a boat that is heading north up the Picatanu.
Yes.
There are 2 things that you need to keep in mind and that you need to understand. The first one is that if we encounter any of the cursed Aesir, my business with them will take priority over your business with the ship on the Picatanu.
That is understood.
For the Anua are at war with the Aesir Vikings, and their sky ships relentlessly raid our floating cloud cities. So if I sight one anywhere on the horizon, I will engage and engage with vengeance, for I have lost far too many brothers and other family to their evil ways. The second thing that you need to keep in mind is when we come in sight of the Picatanu River, we have to use caution, because if they see a big sky ship on a sky galleon like mine on the horizon, if they see it in the sky, they will come on full alert, and you will find it much more difficult. I would suggest that we contrive some kind of plan so that you can approach them at night.
Yeah. Or is there some way that we could covertly be dropped off a distance from the river and then proceed the rest of the way?
Well, the thing is, like if once we get dropped off, we are still going to have several weeks to plan.
Yeah.
So we can make a fort. We can scout out our best area, make a fort,
I would say
gather
if we're gonna
supplies,
make a
maybe
fort,
gather
it should be
allies.
camouflage. Yeah.
Pardon me?
We should camouflage our
Camp.
fort.
But yeah, just like I think like we're gonna get dropped off 3 weeks before they're even on the scene. So we've got like time to plan our ambush.
So, as you translate what discussion is happening to Marduk, Marduk gets another big smile on his face, and you see a mischievous look, and he says, "I think we can do a little bit better of that. If we time it the right way, you won't need to be dropped off at all. We can come in the darkness directly above them." Because you need to also be able to get away besides getting to the position that you need to get to. But we'll have plenty of time to discuss that, because it's going to be a couple of days journey for us westward, and then we're going to need to make our way up to Pikatanu to catch up with them, assuming that they have already deported and they are sailing north. So
do we all have similar interests in mind? Like I know obviously, like you owe, pardon me, a favor to Quilius and maybe a favor to the Queen. What are we going to be indebted to you for helping you with us, helping us with you helping us on this mission?
I believe what my companion is saying
Sorry.
is what can we do a favor to you for your assistance to us?
That's another way of saying it, yes.
So
I'm just trying to be
Marduk gets once again, and this time he gets a little bit more serious and says to you, first of all, I owe the Queen no favors. This would have been a favor to her.
Okay.
But I still owe quite a big favor to Quilius. And this will be my opportunity to wipe the slate clean. I owed him a small favor and a big favor, and I'm rolling them both up in this. The small favor was to deliver to you the package that he has got up on my ship, which I do not like being there. I worry about its volatility.
Okay.
Which is why you're going to find it out on the front of the ship, as far from the rest of the ship as possible. And as you look, you can see there's the front spar, almost like the pointy bit that comes out from the ship. There's a long plank lash to it, and there's some type of round bound up cloth package with rope right out on the end of it. He's like, if there was going to be any nonsense, I'd run that right into whoever I found, because I'm pretty sure Quilius has got a bomb there. He didn't tell me exactly. He just said it was volatile and that it was for you. So regarding a favor to you, I think that we can work something out, and I will take you up on that. Here is my deal to you, and because of course the Anua love making deals. They are traders first and foremost. They trade with the Fae. They trade with the Vanir Vikings, who are the Valkyrie, who fly Viking trading ships, the ones with the blue hulls. They are at war with the Aesir, who are the Vikings, the Sky Vikings, who have black hulls on their sky ships. They trade with the Orcs. They trade with a number of different people. They have no trade with most other humans from Salt Shore. They have a very little bit of trade with the Wildermage, although they do trade some things with Wildermage. Mostly, these are things where the Anua are importing from all of these different cultures, because their cloud cities survive on trade. Their cloud cities have limited resources. So everything they have, they bring in. They trade a lot with the core dwarves for clusters, Aerra-like clusters, to make new skyships to fly. And the ancient cities that they live in, the ancient cloud cities that they live in, have technology that some of it even they don't understand, and some of it is locked behind locked doors they have never opened, because those cities are super ancient.
Agriculture, greenhouses, etc.
They do not have agriculture, but they have livestock.
Interesting.
Flying livestock.
Okay, flying livestock, but within the cities they don't have.
Within the cities, they have gardens. They have
Okay,
rooftop
okay,
gardens and they have markets.
Okay.
That is the only agriculture they have. Obviously, being a culture that exists solely in these floating cloud cities, they don't have any other lands that they grow anything on. But they do grow rooftop gardens, and then they have markets.
So
and
if
their
they wanted
markets,
grain, they would have to.
they trade for the grain.
Yeah. Okay.
They go, they pick it up. They have got on each of the cities, and Marduk is happy to answer all of your questions over the next couple of days. On each of the cities, there's a quite an active skyport on the city where their ships come and go from, a sky dock. And in addition to their own ships, there are some other cultures that have flying ships that are on friendly terms with them or may come to trade at that city. And you will find if you go to their markets, this is what Marduk says, if you come to our markets, you will also find that they tend to be somewhat international, and you may find stalls there from a number of little people as well as stalls by the Anua. You will not find many dwarven stalls there because, of course, the dwarves do not feel comfortable in cloud cities very much. When we trade with them,
they'd feel comfortable.
even the
ground.
Keltae dwarves from Gaul do not feel comfortable in the sky. So we go to them when we would wish to trade and pick up things from them. But you may find stalls, and you even may see ships of the dragon people there. And you don't even know who the dragon people are yet, but we could talk about that in the future. You may find stalls there of many other humans from different cultures. Mostly, you'll even find stalls there from some of the elves, some of the Fae that do not live in the Feywood. So this is everything that Marduk has told you. And he says, so here's my offer to you and my deal. My commitment to Quilius is to get you to your mission and intercepting the ship. There was no deal made, however, after that and dropping you off. So if you wish to make a deal with me, perhaps we could discuss an opportunity for you to be picked back up by me, assuming you survive that mission, and we can continue on from there, either you accompanying me on my next destination or me agreeing to ferry you someplace that you need to go. All right. Food for your thought.
Thank you.
Before everyone stops, I'm so sorry, Dave. Just checking. Oh, yeah, I was just checking to make sure that because your chat looked differently than mine on. Yeah, no one has talked here since before the break. Gotcha.
Yeah, we're all okay.
Okay.
Last thing was the pink captain said everybody's gone and Ian's looking up stats, and he meant during our break we were all in the other room going nom 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 nom.
Yeah, and that's what happens every time we go on break. Ian does not eat
He
at the
just
same
chills.
time as we
Just
do.
chills out. Yeah.
Although Glenn made him his own package of cookies to take home today, which was
Oh,
nice.
very nice.
This is how
Very-
conscientious. and
Which is
caring.
very, very kind.
The same cookies that we had?
No, they're different.
Oh,
They're
okay, because
they're a
the
little
one-
bit keto.
A little bit more keto?
No,
Yeah, I mean a little bit not keto. Sorry,
they're definitely not
they're
keto.
definitely not keto.
Okay. Yeah, the ones that he makes for us are basically like crumbs of nuts making the flour. So good. Oh my goodness. It's just like
Melt in your mouth.
not crumbles.
Very low.
Shut up about nut in your mouth. That's so gross.
I said melt in your mouth.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
It's an amalgam of various nuts and flavoring.
Yeah, well, it was great. Okay, so this is the offer that Marduk has made to you, one that he is going to fulfill his favor to Quilius. He says to you now, you've got 2 hours before I depart. I wish to depart by supper at the latest. Right now it is only just an hour, half an hour before noon, so it's 11:30. And I would like to depart by 2 p.m. if I can, to get in as much travel time today. But if you have other things that you need to wrap up before then, I will delay another 2 to 4 hours after that.
The only thing I will ask, please, is we may need assistance getting up onto
That's-
the
I was
ship
gonna ask that
because
very
we are slightly smaller than you.
Yeah. Do you guys have a port elevator, which is like a hoist for hoisting us up a platform?
And he looks at you and he laughs and says, "You are not the first small ones to attempt to get up my regular ladder and be dismayed by it. Yes, I have got a different system. My men will drop down to you a basket for you to pile into with all of your goods,
Oh, with our
and we can
supplies and
easily
everything.
pull it up."
Yes.
Thank
To the
you
ship.
so much. That
And-
is very
and my
kind of
other
you.
question is the supplies for the building of our boat to intercept. Will they be able to get that up there as well, or
Baskets.
can I? Yeah.
He looks at you curiously and he says, "I was not aware that we were carrying another boat with us." And he looks at the Fey Queen, and the Queen says, "Here's the problem. We cannot get the supplies for your boat here from Elfheim for another day to 2 days.
Okay.
So if you're going to depart with Marduk,
Yeah.
you go without a boat
Right.
and you rely on him to ferry you there and either drop you directly down to the intercepting ship that you're intercepting, or to drop you and you fashion something when you're there.
Okay.
But I have no supplies for you for 2 days. If you wish to wait, you have the problem where I can provide you with all of the supplies for a light beam boat, but then Marduk will have departed.
Right.
Yes.
So I think we'd rather stick with Marduk.
So
I
so
believe
so so fashion with whatever environmental supplies are there.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm perfectly capable of doing.
Okay, just like whacking down some trees and planing them and making them into boats
We'll
and
just
doing those things. Okay.
using
Well,
a,
Oh,
using-
within
We'll see
a
what's
couple of
available when we
days.
get there.
And
Yeah.
Marduk may have some supplies on his ship that he might barter for that will help
Right.
us.
yeah.
Okay. Any chance of intercepting this this Elfheim boat?
I think that's the idea.
You mean the ship that
The one that would be
the ship loaded with
our supplies.
with gems, or your own ship to the north, or your own shipment to the north?
Yeah, the one. Okay, intercepting the boat with our supplies or intercepting our supply train that was coming to us. Any chance of that on the way to the major journey?
Marduk says, "Well, as I understand it, no shipment has left Elfheim to travel south from the World Tree with the light beam wood. I would also be hesitant to travel north because I don't want to get that near the World Tree. It's much bigger than my boat, my skyship. So I would suggest that we head west. You're going to have to do without any type of boat from the Elven Queen, the Fey Queen. Instead, I will take you directly to the ship that we are intercepting that's on the Pikatanu River. When I get there, we will lower you down for the interception and retrieve you. If something goes wrong or we are intercepted, you'll be on your own. Otherwise, my idea for the plan is that I should be able to lower you down in darkness, and you can complete your mission and then retrieve you back to this skyship.
Well, this way we don't have to swim up to the ship. We can just basically take the bomb, put it in the hull, and set it off.
Marduk nods and he says, "That was my idea, was that I would simply lower down you as operatives and then retrieve you right away, just with the same basket that I plan to bring you up to the ship in."
Cool.
That is very kind.
That's
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
That's a good
I mean,
plan.
that sounds good to me. I don't know
Thank
about
you
you
so
guys.
much, Michael.
Does
Thank
everyone
you.
else feel good about
Yep.
this?
I feel
Absolutely.
really good about this
Yep.
plan. Let's go. Go team.
Excellent. He
Enjoy
gets a big
yourself.
smile on his face. In
Thank you,
exchange
Marta.
for me helping you with the very end of your mission to take out the boat, assuming that we are successful, I've got a little mission of my own that your team would be just perfect for after that. And he gets a big smile on his face. And you notice as he does that one of his teeth is a big gold toothy teeth on one side. You have got a couple hours still in the elven camp before Marduk is departing. He goes back to talk with the queen for a few minutes. They conclude their discussion, and then he simply walks over, grabs hold of the giant rope ladder that has been hanging there this whole time, and pulls himself up with very quick speed up to his ship, about 200 feet above. As he's been doing so, and you've been observing all this, you noticed a number of large Anua heads leaning over to observe what was going on below. So you understand that he does have a crew on this ship. You don't know who they are or how many of them there are, but there's a crew on the ship as well. And our alarm has gone off. So we're going to wrap it up in the next 10 minutes here. So anything else that you wish to wrap up around the camp, or other questions or other people you wish to approach in the 2 hours you have left?
Yes, I think we should talk to the queen again and thank her and ask her if there is anything that she wants to share with us or comment or, with
And
us.
anything in addition that we need to know, and obviously extend our gratitude.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Anything else besides that?
Packing up the stuff.
All right. As you go to the queen and you thank her, she smiles at you warmly and says, I wish I had more to give than this, but I do have these few things that maybe will help you on all of your future journeys. And she snaps her fingers, and once again, a couple of attendants come out, and they've got a tray with a few little packages on it. And she takes each of these packages and hands each of them to you. And she says, don't open these until you are aboard the ship and away. I don't want any fanfare here in my court and in the elven encampment. And besides that, I don't want any of the rest of my international fighters that are here, my little foreign legion, to be jealous of the special favoritism I might be showing you.
Okay.
So she says, tuck those under your coats and off you go. I hope that we
Please
see
tell
you
me She
again.
whispered that to you and didn't announce
Yes.
or to us and didn't.
She said it in a
announce
very quiet, low voice to you, and she said it in Anua, so that only Rob was
so-
able to understand what she had said.
So Percy translated to us.
Percy translates it to you, and each of you takes the package that you have. There's a package for Raven that's about this long. There is a package for Percy that actually has a hard time tucking under its coat. It's about this long. There's a smaller package like this for Lavinia, a slightly longer package for Josephine, and a package about 10 to 12 inches for Thaddeus. All right. Anything else that you wish to do in the next couple hours that you have?
Is there a market?
There is not. It looks like there's nothing but an elven encampment, and the only thing that they seem to have are kitchens set up. And other than that, you see different fires with soldiers sitting around them, cleaning their weapons and tending to their domestic camp chores. And occasionally you'll see troops going out, small troops going out on patrols, and other troops coming back. But it's clearly a war camp.
Are there any places of worship? I'm thinking for our cleric to maybe reground in.
Not in the war camp. You don't find anything. There are no permanent buildings whatsoever. And there are some pavilions, but most of those pavilions apparently are just for the elven officers or the queen herself. And the one that they kicked some officers out for you for the night.
Anyone playing cards?
Well, as the queen is finishing and you're taking the presents, all of a sudden hear this whoomp, and you turn around, and sure enough, a basket has hit the ground, not too hard, just thump, landed on the ground about
Start
30
packing
feet
in.
away from you,
Start packing.
and it looks exactly like what you would recognize, almost exactly, from one of the world exhibitions you might have attended or seen a picture of back on Earth. It looks like a basket from an air balloon. It's woven of wicker, except instead of a balloon on top of it, there are 4 cables that come to a center point, and that center point runs up to the top, up to the if you look way up to the railing of the skyship 200 feet above. And it's quite a large basket. It's a basket that could hold easily 8 people and their equipment. And it's just sitting there waiting for you to get in. Then you look up and you see there's one big Anua head of one of the crew looking over, watching to see when you're ready,
Ready to reel us back?
waiting for some kind of signal
Okay.
to pull you back up.
Let's load up.
Let's load up.
Yeah, I mean we're pretty much packed, aren't we? Just like
Yeah.
throw it all in
And
there.
then
toss it
once
in
we're
all
loaded
in.
into the basket, I say, "Hey, Holloway, Holloway together. Hey, Holloway, well, Holloway boys."
He says that in a new.
And Anua.
In Anua.
Okay. So you're all packed in?
Yep.
All right. As you're all packed in, and
Locust
Percy,
is nom, 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 nom.
you're quite a spectacle for everybody else in the camp. They're all watching this happen. They don't know about your mission. They don't know any of the details.
Yep.
This is something that's purely between you, the queen, and her elven commanders, and the Anua captain. You did not get an opportunity to meet the rest of her court. It did not assemble as an official court. So you have not seen many of the other members of her court that you've heard of, like the Misu Knights, the 3 Great Mouse Knights, and a number of others besides Moraz. He's the only one of her court that you've met. As you make the signal, all of a sudden there's this huge lurch, and you all end up prone inside the basket as this giant Anua above you has grabbed the rope, which for him is just a tiny little lanyard, and just started reefing it up. And you find the basket going whoa, 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 up in these big arm pulls, right? And it takes you a little while to stabilize and get used to the motion as you go higher and higher and higher up to the ship. As you get up 100 feet, you look down over the rest of the encampment, and you can see the view of what is below you. You can see elven campfires off to the west and to the east for a half a mile in both directions. And as you get a little bit higher, almost to the ship, to the south of you, about 2 miles away, you can see the burned lands. And you see more lines of smoke from a few campfires. Not as many, but you certainly start to see what you think are clusters, must be clusters of soldier camps or soldiers, and small, tiny little ants moving on what where the enemy line is and where the enemy host is. The enemy host obviously can see you at this point because they're only about 2.5 miles away. So they may not have any idea what's happening, but you should assume that they are now aware that a giant Anua ship has stopped at the elven enemy camp to the north of them. They don't know what it's about, and they probably assume it's just some type of trade exchange providing supplies to you or to the elves from the Anua.
they'd be terrified.
As you get to the top, there are a couple of big Anua giants there, and they easily just pick up the entire basket, pull it up over the rail, set it on the deck. As they set it on the deck, you realize that from the distance you were, that rail looked really small. But now that you were there, the rail is like 8 feet to 10 feet up. And there are portals in it, small little portals for ropes and things like that you can look out. And there are a few places you can get high enough to look around, a few platforms with boxes against the rail that you can look over it. But you find yourself on this massive galleon where you feel like you are 10 inches tall on a regular ship.
Wow.
Because the entire thing, you look over and there are steps up to the rear, what would be called where the captain is standing and where the wheel is. There are steps up there, but each of those steps is like half your height or a little more. Each of those steps is like 4 feet. So for you to climb up the steps to get up to that level, you got to have to work at it.
Parkour going.
I've got a solution for that.
I do too.
And that is where we are going to leave it for tonight. You have arrived on the great Anua skyship flown by the Anua giants. They all, as you look around at the crew, you realize that Marduk is the biggest of them, that there are many others. None of them are as big and as muscular as he is, but they're all sailor types. And they're all, the shortest of them is probably about 14 feet tall.
Yep.
Many of them are much slimmer and more athletic than his big muscular body. And you notice also that his crew is not 100% exclusively Anua. There are a couple of them that are, in fact, white. They are giants as well, and as you are looking at them, you realize they must not be Aesir giants, but they must be Vanir giants from the Vanir tradesfolk. And yet they work on Marduk's ship. You don't see any other smaller people, which makes sense because they wouldn't have any usable jobs to do on a crew like this because it's such a big ship. Marduk comes down the steps, welcomes you, says, "Welcome, this is my crew. Welcome to my ship. Welcome aboard." You'll find that there are many other skyships that have regular crews your size, but on my ship, we are all giants. And we will do what we can to accommodate your small needs. We have a cabin for you. It is the cook's cabin that you will be using to stay in for tonight and tomorrow night, however long it takes us to get you to where you are going. But we have propped the cabin door open because you can't move that. And we've simply put a curtain across that you can crawl underneath.
So weak, small.
And you can then, bunk underneath his, you can lay out your bunks underneath his cook's bed. Okay, that's where we're going to stop and leave it for tonight. Thank you guys very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jade. Yay, and congratulations, guys. We leveled up. Yay!
Yes.
And thank you so much to Sugarberries and to Brother Silver for coming in, and also to a talking koala for joining us today on YouTube.
Hey, talking koala.
Yeah, like a new viewer. So
Cool. Also, a shout out to our buddy Pete Miro. If he sees this either now or later, we know you're going to watch this at some point. So a big shout out to you.
Thanks,
Looking
Pete.
forward to seeing you sometime in the next couple months
to all
when
of
you come to visit.
to all of our friends who aren't necessarily able to come on stream, but they're able to come later on. And
Yeah.
Yes,
and,
thank you for
visit.
watching.
Watch the
We
replay.
appreciate you so much.
We appreciate all of you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so don't forget your homework this next week is to try and figure out your feats. I'm going to remind you in our little Wilders group on Facebook too. Okay, try and log in on your own PCs, have a look at your character sheet and try and get it updated the way you want. The things that are available to you now that you're level 6. And we will pick it up next week, right
Woo,
here.
next week. Yay, yay.
Next week, The plan is that we will be playing on, what's the date going to be? It's going to,
I think
here,
it's
let me
the
go this
12th
way.
or something like that. I work next week, but I'll be here eventually.
All right. So pulling up a calendar, and it is, yes, game night the 12th of February. We'll see you all then. All right, folks, thanks for
night,
coming.
guys.
Have a good night.
Okay.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Bye.